We're going to call up our next speaker in a minute, Danny Sessom. Danny, how many of you guys know who Danny is? You know of the crypto show that he has done and his work with Dash. If you don't, awesome. You're going to learn much more about it today. But I got to tell you, so when you do this MC thing, you know, you don't necessarily have a lot of connection to a lot of the speakers who come up. In Danny's case, it's very different. So I've actually known Danny longer, as he just pointed out, than this conference has been going on. Years ago, 2014, I think it was, 13, we ended up in Chile together at an event there that was kind of a precursor to this. And we ended up meeting by accident. We were both in the airport at the same time. I was with my wife. We were looking to find a taxi. He had a car that he had rented and was looking to find someone who spoke Spanish. And so we all kind of like met and then took off together driving down the road. And it was a friendship ever since. Since then, he's been involved with Dash cryptocurrency. Unrelatedly, I was involved with Dash. And so our paths just keep kind of crossing. It's a pretty awesome thing. One thing about Danny that I find absolutely fascinating, how many of you have seen the Charlton Heston version of the Ten Commandments? You've seen that movie? Okay, yeah, some people are like, what was that? Throwback, oh my gosh. So if you have not seen it, you've missed out on some amazing things, like the lady when she gets her robe caught under the block and it's going to crush her. And, yeah, but lots of inside jokes about this. But one of the things that happens in that movie is every time Charlton Heston sees the face of God, he has longer, whiter hair. So it starts out, it's not very white, and then it gets a lot more flowing and more silver. Danny has had the same experience. Every time I see him, he looks more and more like he's seen the face of God. So I'm not sure exactly what he'll tell you about. Perhaps it'll be one of those experiences, but with no further ado, Danny Sessom.
Whoa! Same tricks they used before. They're trying to divide us, but that'll only multiply us. Whoa! The same tricks they used before. They're trying to divide us, but that'll only multiply.
And I think that song says it all. You know, they're trying to divide us, and it's only going to multiply us. And, you know, there's been a lot of division in the past. Even Kat and I had issues in the past, and we're working through it now. We're doing this year has been fantastic. Anarchapulco, Agorapulco, I don't know how much you guys know about this, but in the background, these guys have been really working together and making their events mesh and, you know, sharing artists and just making it one big event. So it's really cool to see how these guys are working together and making this whole event really something, you know. And like Ben said, it started out in Chile and then it's progressed, went from you know, the Copacabana into bigger and bigger hotels. And I think that this year, just the way that everybody's working together and they're kind of so cohesive, this is probably the best year ever. And I guess I don't even know how many watch parties there are or how many people are watching, but I'm really glad that we came this year. I mean, I've been in Mexico since October, so I don't really, it wasn't a big drive for me. If I highly recommend driving through Mexico if you ever get a chance, because it is fantastic to do. What I wanted to talk about was my journey through crypto. I'm not a speaker, so I'm probably nervous as shit up here anyway. But I did 6 years in radio as a roofer. I got into crypto, just loved crypto, and an opportunity came up, so I ended up in radio. Don't know anything about it, and the next thing I know, I'm the guy who's running everything behind the show, making everything happen, and getting all the speakers and you know, all the different people to interview. We were the very first radio show that was dedicated to crypto. I mean, other than Free Talk Live, who probably taught Roger Ver about it. But like I said, we went 6 years of talking nothing but crypto and, you know, whistleblowers and all kinds of stuff. It was a fantastic time. And one of the things that I got to do with that is have these different sponsors that would allow me to do different things. And I always wanted to take crypto and give it a different look, because all you ever heard about was the Silk Road and they're buying drugs, they're doing this, they're doing that. Well, I wanted to do different things. So granted, the first charity that we worked with was the Silk Road. we took our website and we turned it into the polyester path. And so people were all over the world sending us all these different things, toothpaste, T-shirts, shoes that had the Silk Road camels on them. People from all over the world. And there were people in Russia and just Bosnia and wherever wanting to buy stuff to contribute to Ross to help him get out of jail. And we were selling all this. So we raised thousands and thousands of dollars just right off the bat doing this with cryptocurrency. And I seen the good in that, and we started doing things with the homeless people around Austin. I teamed up with Jason King. I don't know if anybody knows who Jason King is. He ran across America, Forrest Gump style, from Miami to San Francisco to raise money for the homeless. Well, his ideas and how we would feed the homeless and stuff, I would take those same ideas and put them to use in Austin. And, it ended up being the front page of Reddit of what we had done with the Arcade City guys. So it was just great stuff. And, from there, what Dash was sponsoring us at the time. And we wanted to make use cases for how to use crypto. So marijuana was big. So we got a proposal and we started traveling all around the U.S. and I'm being paid to go knock on doors of dispensaries and say, hey, have you heard about crypto? So it was just this crazy journey. And then from there, the Hurricane Harvey came, and that turned into 3,700 care packages. We spent 6 weeks on the coast helping people in the hurricane. We bought a boat. We pulled people out of their houses. And I got to see how, people work together, just the churches and just the neighbors and everything, while government was in the way. That's the Red Cross, FEMA. Those guys were just pariah. They were just standing in the way. State troopers would not let us get our boat in to help pull people out. But small town police were different. They cared about their community. While, Red Cross, FEMA, the state police, all they cared about is photo ops. They just wanted to make sure that everybody thought it was them that was doing it. Like literally when the Cajun Navy would organize, they would bring all the boats in, just some, Bubba with his bass boat from Dallas drove all the way down to Houston to pull some people out of the water. After all the people would get pulled out, then the game wardens and the police, the state troopers would bring their boats in, and with all the people standing there, and they would take pictures like they did all the work. It was, nobody did more than the Cajun Navy, which was just organized on Zello. It was fantastic. And I would just go from town to town, and grocery stores, churches, all of the people. I mean, my shirt, right? Privatize everything. I think people can just do this on their own. We don't really need the government to do this stuff. I mean, if you give people a chance to do it, they're going to step up and do it. And, that's from that, the next thing I know, an earthquake happens in Mexico. And I get sponsored again. And so I go to Puebla, and I'm building houses. So one of the most amazing things that ever happened to me was it was just before Christmas. There's something that happens here in Mexico where people will walk from all over the country with an effigy of their Mother Mary on their back or whatever. I don't even remember what it's called, but they all walk to the Basilica in Mexico City. When this was going on, I seen all these people. I'm like, man, why are these people walking around all that on? And people told me what it was about. So I go to the first house and I knock on the door, and this guy comes. It's the brother of the mother of these children that are there, and he says, the mother is gone, and she went to the Basilica to pray to get a house. And I was standing there knocking on the door to tell these people that you're the one that I chose to build your house. So, like, you're just, the feeling you get when shit like that happens is fucking amazing. And it just happened over and over. I did get taken advantage of on one house, but there were 3 other houses that worked out well. I rebuilt a community center, which is here in Mexico. It's called a DIF. We did all this with cryptocurrency, man. A lot of it was sponsorships from Dash and different people, but most of it was actually people that just pitched in from all over the world. There's one guy I always got to give a shout out. His name is Bill Klein. This dude, when I traveled into the hurricane, that guy, he says, anybody who will donate, I will match the funds up to 10 Bitcoin. Well, the dude sent me 10 Bitcoins right then. So I'm driving, headlong right into this hurricane while it's happening. And I had no idea that I had that money. And, I shifted it over to Coinbase, and I have a Shift card. So that's what I'm purchasing everything with, is the Shift card off of Coinbase. And I'm just buying stuff along the way. If I went to every Walmart and just bought out all of the toothpaste, all of the soap, all of the, towels, shampoo, everything that somebody might need if they were just displaced from their house. And that was just amazing, man. Just people did that, not so much the big sponsors, but it was the little sponsors that actually made the difference. The people that came out, like there were people driving from all over the state to meet up with us and just help make meals and just put this stuff together to get us the care packages and help. They would meet me in whatever city, so we would go and pass it out. But I just, I don't even know how to explain how you get to do stuff like this just because you decided to make the effort. I'm a fucking roofer. That's all. I'm just a fucking roofer that decided to do some shit that I thought was fucking cool, and I did it. Just made it fucking happen. And I mean, that's about all I can say about that. And that another thing that I've worked on also is over the last 6 years, through the Anarchapulco conference, we've worked with the Marsh Children's Home, which is right across the street over here, and you guys will see some of that. And that's been pretty amazing. We've each year coming and watching them grow, and seeing them move off, and like some of the kids that have moved away, they still contact me and like, hey man, what are you doing? Can you help me get a job or something like that? And it's just amazing. And you guys will probably, if you show up on Wednesday, you might find out about this. Come back on Wednesday at 2 or 12, 1 o'clock, something like that, for sure. I don't know. Does anybody have any questions? I mean, on how to do any of this? I mean, give me some inspiration here to go forward on this, because I'm not a very good speaker.
I have a question.
Yes.
How can crypto
How can crypto help
help people in need?
people in need? Well, you mentioned it. The problems that you had with banks and such. Being able to send money without permission to anybody, anywhere, even actually if they don't want it, if you know their public address, you could send it to them anyway. The communities that are within crypto, to be able to organize them. Let's also talk about that. So there's a sponsor actually this year that's helping me to cover some of the stuff that we're doing for the orphanage, and it's called Epic Cash, and they've got something that's called Epic Fund Me, and this is a decentralized GoFundMe page where you can just put up your idea, and if the community likes it, they'll tip you and pay you to come and do this stuff. So I would urge anybody that wants to maybe help out, or if they need the help or something. I assume that you guys would probably be more apt to help than need help. Please go check that out, epicfundme.com. You can see how that works. I know it's still growing right now, so it needs some activity. Of course, you would have to interact with Epic Cash to get the coins and be able to do whatever it is you want to do. So find out about them. It's a privacy coin with Wimble features. So if you're into that, I mean, for me, I just like Bitcoin, and I want to collect my Bitcoin, and when I want to get out, I'll sell it. But and I'm all for other cryptocurrencies being able to do their thing too. And it was really a great time working with Dash, and I hope that these guys with Epic are able to pull off something the same with their crowdfunding platforms. So, anything else or?
Any more resources for charity stuff like these guys?
Any more resources for charity stuff? Yeah, go to the Marsh Children's Home, and you can help them out anytime. Go find it. Like, I mean, oh, you mean how to do it?
No, I mean how to get the resources.
How to get the resources?
Like any other idea.
Well, what I did to get the resources was we were running commercials for Dash, and just telling about the wallet and how to use it, and I convinced the network that it would be better if we did these great things with charities to give them a more positive image. And the way Dash works, of course, is the masternodes are just people in the community who get to vote on things and decide which direction they will send their money. Each month that they have a block reward, 10% of that is set aside for the community to be able to build things and whatnot. So my advertising, I always put something positive in there, which, I mean, I did it selfishly so that I could go and do these cool things, but still, it was great press for Dash, and the masternodes loved it, and I think most other people that seen it loved it too. I'd even helped this one guy, remember, in Rockport, Texas, during the hurricane. He was trying to donate money, and we wouldn't take dollars. So people would come up and try to give us money, and like, we don't take that shit. We'll take Bitcoin, Dash, or any other cryptocurrency. And this guy had just happened to have a wallet, an Edge wallet, that somebody gave him a little bit of money on, like $10, and it was, at that point, it was worth like $100. And he tipped me for the care package that I gave him at that. So that was pretty cool. So, anybody else, or no? Yeah. Dash has its own blockchain. It forked from Bitcoin and Litecoin. Yeah. Any other? You guys got anything or no?
You want me to ask questions? All day.
Okay.
Okay, so Danny,
Yes.
is it true that you're living and traveling full time in an RV right now? What inspired that, and what's it actually like?
Okay. Yeah. It's freedom. Absolute freedom. Do you guys feel like you were, I don't know, oppressed during COVID? Anybody oppressed during COVID? Not me. It was the freest time I ever had. It was the greatest time of my life. I mean, I didn't listen to shit. I never wore a mask. If somebody wanted me to wear a mask, I just went to the next door that didn't. I traveled from city to city, lived in my RV. I remember at one point, I didn't have my RV, and I was driving from Texas to Arizona, and I decided that I would drive through Big Bend National Park, and no one would rent me a hotel, and there was no campgrounds or nothing, so I slept on a gravestone. It was peaceful. So yes, gravestones in Terlingua, Texas are quite comfortable. Yes. And then, after that, we just went, I went to Vegas, went to Havasu, we went all over Yellowstone, we've traveled the full length of Baja, rode a boat to Mazatlan in our RVs, and we slept on the beach, we just did whatever we want. I've never had more freedom. There was no traffic, gas was cheaper. I just, I knew who I didn't want to talk to because they all had a mask on, So it was easy to identify who I did and did not want to talk to. Small towns were always great. They get, migrate to small towns because most of them they're just not into it. They're not gonna, especially Wyoming. Wyoming is bitching. They don't care about any of that. Is anybody trying to move out of the U.S. or into Mexico? Awesome. Drive across. Get an RV. There's RV parks everywhere. The Canadians are not allowed to leave, so the RV parks are wide open here in Mexico right now. So I feel sorry for the Canadians, but maybe not. You guys have the balls enough to leave. So the Canadians that I've talked to, I've actually talked to several of them here, and had one, he wandered up in our park over in Pie de la Cuesta, and he's like, just wanted to look around, and I said, where are you from? And he's like, I'm from Canada. And he says, yeah, I got to get back home soon. I said, for what? Well, I don't want to lose my health care. Like, dude, you can get it cheaper here, and you just pay for it. And probably get better service. He's like, I think you're right. So basically what he explained to me is that the Canadians wanted them to come back every 6 months so that they can get their taxes from them. So they're dangling the health care over their head to come back. I mean, it seems like if I stayed gone and didn't pay my taxes, I could just use that money for even better health care. But I don't know. You're Canadian. Are you paying your taxes? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yes. Just live free. It. So we've got Canadians and Dutch, and I mean, where is everybody from here? I mean, what countries are? How many countries are actually represented here?
Can you say your questions repeat and repeat their answers to questions?
Okay. Where? London, England. I know we have someone from Austria. We have people from Sweden, Germany, Ireland, Luxembourg. Is that a country? Okay. A few Canadians. You can. Where? Cleveland. I'm from the Republic of Texas, but I'm waiting for my second passport. Secede. Heck yeah. What ice storm? Was there an ice storm? Oh, I was on the beach. I don't know anything about that. So apparently Texas lost electricity. Okay. Wow. Because it was privatized, or because it wasn't? Took control of the electrical grid. Wow. Awesome. Well, I don't know what else I got here. I just kind of wanted to share my story, and we got Monte. That's not pop. It's Monte. What do you got, Monty? Yes, we're going to be recording here. I don't. So what we did was terrestrial radio. We were on in Austin, Miami, Denver, Houston, San Francisco, Honolulu, and Phoenix. And it was on the Bloomberg network. So we were sponsored, and we bought the airtime basically, and went on all these stations on Bloomberg. And we would just talk about cryptocurrency while the guy who got off in front of us was talking about stocks, and we would just go into this crazy crypto rant. And so hopefully we reached some people. I don't know, but it was great. Now we'll just do the YouTube stuff. Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we do kind of showcase what it's been like to live free and not give a shit about COVID. It's an RV adventure. We just kind of put it up. It's we're documenting our travels, where we're going, what we're doing with the children's home over here, and just climbing volcanoes, and seeing waterfalls and hot springs, and just all the cool shit that you would want to do while everybody's locked in their basement. We're going out there doing it, and we're documenting it, putting it on YouTube. So if you want to look for an RV adventure, that's where we're at, and we're just having fun, hoping, not really to show off or anything. We hope that it's going to inspire somebody to get the hell out of wherever they're at and just go live. Yeah. All right, man. Thanks.